After the incident with Maurice the next morning, Holden calls Sally Hayes and asks her if she wanted to watch a play with him, because he seems to have unlimited income. Anyways, after the call, Holden packed up his things and left the hotel. Luckily, he didn't see Maurice, or that would have been a disaster. He called a cab because he's rich, and he makes his way to Grand Central Station and goes to a sandwich bar where he meets two nuns. He gave the nuns money for a donation and buys them breakfast, but then regrets it after because he realized he could have spent the money on himself. Clearly, Holden is dealing with first world problems here. He even has the nerve to say that money always ends up making you blue as hell. Maybe he should try and experience poverty? So after that, he goes and buys a record called Little Shirley Beans for Phoebe, his sister, because rich people show their love for family through purchases. Eventually, he goes to the skate park to look for Phoebe, but instead runs into a little girl. The girl tells Holden that Phoebe is at the museum. Spoiler, she's not. But Holden goes to the museum and feels like every time he goes, he's changed, but the museum hasn't. Salinger is clearly showing that Holden is unable to accept his own loss of childhood innocence. Then he meets Sally for the date, and they go to the theater and then go ice skating. But Holden went a little too far and started yelling at her. He said he hated her, then he loved her, and he wanted to move west with her, and he wanted to get married. At this point, Sally got creeped out and left. Because Holden is so obsessed with transitioning to an adult, he is unaware of how his actions are perceived. Out of serial rejection, Holden calls an old acquaintance, Carl Luce, to meet at a bar. Carl and Holden have an awkward conversation, and so he also abandons Holden. So, what does Holden do? He gets drunk and walks to Central Park, where he drops the record he bought for Phoebe. He gets depressed and starts throwing his money across the lake, because the rich in this world have nothing better to do.